Bermuda's subsea twilight zone. Like the depths of space, much of the planet's oceans remain unexplored. Scientists researching waters around Bermuda and its subsea volcanic seamount have found new species of marine life. The Nekton project team used special equipment including submersibles, as well as technical divers and remotely operated vehicles. The depth region they looked at is known as the rareotrophic zone. Only low amounts of sunlight reach this deep. Some media have dubbed it Bermuda's twilight zone as a result. Last year, researchers sighted a lionfish at a depth of 302 meters that's said to be the deepest observed. Water temperature at this depth was a cool 19.7 degrees Celsius. In another study, scientists also detailed a new kind of black coral fauna called Stichopaths powderlacea. This tree-like coral was sighted at 300 meters deep. Oxford University biology professor and director of the Nekton project, Alex Rogers, said the discoveries are, quote, evidence of how little we know and how important it is to document the unknown frontier to ensure that its future is protected. Here's more on the deep blue.
Sea lice wreak havoc on worldwide salmon supply. There's something fishy going on with the world's salmon supply, and it's not something the fish are doing. According to the Associated Press, parasitic sea lice have infected salmon farms in Chile, the United States, Canada, Scotland, and Norway. Once a parasite infects the salmon, it becomes inedible. Previously, salmon were fed a pesticide to defend against the sea lice. This was reportedly effective until 2009, when the lice began to overcome it and spread globally. Fewer salmon but consistent consumer demand means higher prices for all things salmon, unfortunately.
Great Pacific garbage patch is out of control. Here's some uplifting news. Results of a 3-year study, beginning in 2015, suggest the Great Pacific garbage patch could be 16 times larger than previous estimates. With 30 vessels and a C-130 Hercules aircraft, researchers cataloged a sample of over 1 million pieces of plastic, mostly microplastics, less than 0.5 centimeters in diameter. Scientists say there are more than 79,000 tons of plastic, equal to 500 jumbo jets, in a 1.6 million square kilometer area, around 3 times the size of France, of the North Pacific Ocean. Researchers found plastic bottles, containers, packaging straps, lids, ropes, and fishing nets among the other refuse that have been collecting for decades. As the plastics break down into smaller pieces, they threaten marine life that can eat and die from them.
Google planning to build 3 new underwater cables. Google is coming after our oceans. Google is planning on laying 3 new underwater cables in 2019 to help expand its cloud business. The first will run from Los Angeles to Chile, the second will link the US to Denmark and Ireland, and the third will connect Hong Kong and Guam. Laying these new cable systems will help Google develop its cloud services in Latin America, the North Atlantic, and the Pacific region, and Australia. Google now has direct investments in 11 cables that are planned or under construction. Here's a question. If these cables are supposed to help Google's cloud services, why are they being laid underwater? Something smells fishy. Most of the plastic in the ocean comes from these countries. Plastic waste is slowly but surely taking over the world's oceans, and the bulk of them apparently comes from just 5 Asian countries. A study from Ocean Conservancy estimates that 55 to 60% of plastic polluting the oceans comes from 5 countries: China, Indonesia, Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam. Uncollected and mismanaged waste on land accounts for about 80% of the 8 million metric tons of trash that flow into the oceans each year. Environmental organization Greenpeace claims corporations are also at fault for selling products in single-use plastic packaging, especially in so-called sachet economies like the Philippines. Various studies have shown that plastic pollution negatively impacts marine animals and may be indirectly affecting humans through the food chain. Fortunately, improving waste management practices in the 5 countries can result in a 45% reduction of global plastic waste leakage by 2025. In tackling plastic pollution, everyone has a role to play. From governments and big conglomerates to the people on the street, every bit helps.
Ancient archaeological site facing pollution threat. One of the world's oldest and perhaps most important underwater archaeological spots is at threat from pollution. The Sacactun's cave system is located on the Yucatan Peninsula, south of Cancun on the Mexican coast. It is believed to be the world's largest underwater cave system. Recently, researchers found a network of 248 sinkholes spanning 216 miles there. Divers also found 9,000-year-old human remains, as well as bones from ancient elephants, extinct bears, and giant sloths. Archaeologists say the cave system may be under threat from pollution. Many tourists use sinkholes for snorkeling, and a nearby coastal highway has been known to break apart and fall into the sinkholes.
Rare earths minerals found near Japanese island. The Japanese economy got some good news thanks to a scientific discovery last week. Researchers have found a large deposit of rare earth minerals near a remote island around 1,200 miles southeast of Japan. Research published in scientific reports posits that the seafloor surrounding Nishinoshima Island is laden with 16 million tons of rare earth oxides. There are 17 kinds of rare earth minerals. They are economically valuable and technologically critical, forming components found in smartphones, computers, and electric cars. On a global scale, the study estimates that the find could meet 62 years of yttrium demand, 47 years of europium, 32 years of terbium, and 56 years of dysprosium needs. But as the South China Morning Post reports, challenges remain, such as the logistics of mining the ocean floor on a very, very faraway island.